Yo, guys, what's up? We are back. We're back. Erick and Chris, Miscellaneous and Brown. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that we missed a couple weeks. We've been back. We missed some crucial election stuff, but it's because it's been crazy over here. Because you may have noticed the whole part of the reason why I went away was because of the middle ground debate show. Did you watch it, Chris? Did you watch the show?
I did. It's been a while, but yeah, I did, and you did a great job, man. I mean, like the fact that you were there representing, and I mean, kudos to you for being in that space. I know how excited you were to get to it, and as soon as it was filmed, I was like, you were straight up like, I can't share this with you yet, but I want to. I'm like, then I watched it, I'm like, that's why. No, this is why. And yeah, you're all over the place for a reason. And this was like kind of like your element. I mean, this was something where like you got to be this Filipino Jon Stewart entity that you've been talking about for as long as I've known you, and how we've been doing this podcast, and being able to do that. Like you could tell that this was the space for you. And I hope more of these things happen for you, because we need more voices like you that's comedic, intelligent, and just well-informed, so other people aren't following misleading information and, Filipino MAGA or anything like that. So,
well, I've also been disowned by Filipino MAGA in the comment section, which mission accomplished, bro.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, tell me, please, because I've just.
Oh no. We don't claim him as Filipino. He's not Filipino. He doesn't support Trump. Oh, cool.
I'm okay.
I'm not part of your crew, homie. I'm not part of your tribe.
Yeah. I'm not Filipino. If that is the right
and all of the fools in the DM, that block button works so quick. I've never read all the paragraphs of whatever y'all typed. I didn't read even a little bit of it. Even the big block letters, I just saw them in like a blur as I blocked you. Is really what happened on the DM. So if you're watching this now out of hate, because I know there's a lot of spite hate people that watch stuff, and I hope you do. I hope you spite hate watch this and then share it with all your friends. Talk about how much you hate this video and how much you hate this dude with his green hat on, and you put all the damn comments on, because what did all those comments do? It made that debate show, that middle ground. Shout out to Jubilee Media. Thank you for the opportunity. But it's probably close to like 4 million views now. And I will say, as to transition as to to update everybody else as to what else I was doing, is I was out of town. I was on tour, not really tour, just 2-city tour.
This is your tour. This was the Erick Esteban tour. When you told me what was coming up, I was like, man, he's got these like mapped up. He's going to be at these, 2 places, but it's like, it's more than just home. Right, you had
it is. It was, but what was great was I was able to get home thanks to shout out to my girl Kalia McNeil. We drove through the night from Vegas and got home, and we got to the first karaoke comedy All Stars show at Broadwater here in LA with Mitch hosting, and so that was my first production show of that in about a year, and so I got to that too, which was great. But in San Francisco, I had one show in San Francisco for the Filipino Comedy Festival. Shout out to the girls at Banana Ketchup in New York and everybody at Bindle Stiff, which was a dream to perform at Bindle Stiff. I've always, as an actor coming up in Chicago, I even said this on stage, was like, it's a dream come true to be performing here at the Bindle Stiff studio, because it is like the hub of Filipino storytelling, especially for the theater. But I was, I only had one show, so I just kind of got a chance to explore San Francisco a little bit. And I was walking through the mall. Can't even remember what mall it was, but it's kind of empty, like most malls, because most of the malls are kind of abandoned, other than the bigger stores. And the security guard came up to me. He's like, "Hey, you, come here." And I'm like, "What I do?" Okay. And so I walked over there, and he's like, "Hey man, I saw you on that YouTube video where you was debating and supporting Kamala Harris. You did a real good job, man. You need to keep speaking your truth." And he's like, can I have a hug? And I'm like, yeah, man. And I gave him a hug. And he's like, keep doing what you're doing, dog. Keep doing what you're doing. And I was like, cool. And I go, hey, man, where's the bathroom? And he's like, just go straight. And he gave me the directions to the bathroom. And that was it. But it was a trip because, it's probably close to 4. It was at 3.5 million views when I last checked. So I'm guessing that it's probably close to 4 million at this point. So I know that there's people who saw it, and I'm hoping, I know that there were a lot of bad comments, but there were also a lot of good comments, and there were also, what was great for me about that was when I kind of went down my favorite part of it for me was when I broke down the Trump as a businessman, and then they had the fact check on me where it was they backed up everything I was saying with the fact check. Where it's like, yes, this is true. Yes, this is true. Yes, this is true. So that felt really good. That part where I saw the full production of it come together, that was really nice, and it was really cool to see that. And then a lot of people came up to me at work who were talking about, man, why are you all over my TikTok? And it was really a fun experience. And I'm hoping, like you said, I'm hoping definitely for more stuff like that, whether it's with Jubilee Media or any other place that wants me to come and talk. I'd love to do that. But the Filipino American Comedy Festival, Filipino Comedy Festival, I'm pretty sure that's the official name of it, was great. I met your what is it?
It's my college buddy's older sister, Charmaine.
Your college buddy's older sister. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, she was great. We were hanging at the Sarap shop, which is hard to say, but we were hanging out with the owner of Sarap shop, and I was having this delicious fried chicken dish, and shout out to them. We were hanging out there. We met there, and we really just hung out and smoked together and hung out together. And she was like, "Wow, you have really good weed. I want to hang out with you." And I'm like, "You can hang out with me then." And we had a great time. We really did, and we connected so much that we're deciding that we might even venture into our own festival producing, because after participating in a bunch of festivals now since I did my first comedy festival at Big Pine Comedy Festival virtually because it was in the pandemic. But then the next year, 2021, it opened up, and it was at the House of Comedy in Arizona. And so I think, did I drive out there or did I fly out there? I can't remember. I think we drove, but yeah, we did drive because I drove my dad's car. And then that was a great experience. I mean, it was incredible. I did the lip sync, and I signed with my now current theatrical agent. I signed with him from that festival. Nice. And then I've done a couple other festivals since then, but I really enjoy the festival environment because I meet so many, like at the Laugh After Dark Comedy Fest in Vegas, which is the next comedy festival that I did. That festival was amazing.
Well, let's pause for a second. I want to give a moment because you had shared with me during our pregame just some elements of what goes on at a comedy festival, specifically, the last two that you did. You want to walk us through it real quick about like what people can expect when they go through? Because in my head, I thought you were just going to go a couple stages, hear some comedians, and because I'm thinking like music festival, but it doesn't sound like that. Like you had like workshops and stuff. Like walk us through that real quick. I want to be able to enlighten some folks because I didn't know, but I want to make sure our listeners probably have a good idea of like your experience and what that goes through and why it's something that they probably want to participate in.
Sure. Well, like for instance, the Filipino Comedy Festival was a newer comedy. It's only the second annual one, so they're still growing. So they only had one other event besides the shows, which was the meet and greet, where the comics got to meet and greet them. All the different comics on the lineup were invited to Syrup Shop, and we had lunch together, and that was great. But at the Comedy Fest with Laugh After Dark, which to be fair, they also produce stuff on Amazon Prime. They're much bigger producers. They have a lot more cachet with Vegas, and so it's a very different environment and a very different production team when you're talking about Laugh After Dark, because they're a little bit more further along in as far as bigger productions. You know what I'm saying? So they had multiple shows multiple workshops where there was a branding workshop run by Kelsey, who runs Laugh After Dark, but she's also a brilliant marketing and branding person when it's as far as just she does that outside of Laugh After Dark, and she does it for people and for companies. And she gave us some brilliant branding techniques. And then there was Michelle, who runs a new talent agency. She was scouting for her new talent, but she was also helping comics learn how to do and get into acting and how to work their comedy into their auditions and all the different techniques of acting and auditions and how you have, how to get an agent and all these different, getting in all these different, what I'm talking about, all the industry part of it.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that. And then, then there was also just a lot more meet and greets because it was over a span of 4 days and it was centralized in at one venue. And then there were multiple venues surrounding that venue that had other events. So, like I said, they had a lot of cachet with Vegas and the Vegas Arts District, and they've been working with them for the past 3 years, and they've been in Vegas for I think since 2018, maybe. I don't even know. I don't know. Since 2020, they've been there, and so they did a big show where it was on the Strip and with a casino. So they've been really doing it big, and I'm just happy that every time I submit to them, they always nominate me to be at the festival, which is pretty
awesome.
incredible, I got to say, because like this festival in particular was really special for me because I only had one performance in both festivals. And in both cases, all I did was rip shit. All I did was destroy. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care about where I was. I didn't care what position I was. I didn't care about winning Best of Fest or anything like that. I just cared about ripping it, making everybody laugh and making sure people remembered who I was, and hopefully they'll watch the special from the set they saw. So that was my only goals for the festival, and all those were accomplished and then some. It was pretty great. Like when a comedian like Trix, who was hosting my showcase at Laugh After Dark, he just he bought me a shot after the show and talked about, he didn't know my name before the show. He didn't even realize that I was on the show. I had to tell him who I was. And by the end of it, he was telling me good shit and buying me a shot and pointing me out when he was making a toast to everybody after the show. And, when somebody you respect and admire like that, and I mean, he's incredibly hilarious and he headlines in Vegas. He headlines all the way. I mean, he's incredible. But when somebody like that, when you can make somebody like that laugh, mission accomplished again.
Awesome.
It's pretty cool. And that's kind of the joy of festivals, is you get to meet and greet people that you respect and that you admire, people that you see online and you watch their stuff and you follow their stuff. And now you're standing next to them and they're talking to you and they just watch your set and they're telling you how funny you are, and or vice versa. And you're able to, talk to a person that you only see online, and now you see them in person, and now you get to feel the energy of that. There's nothing like live performance. You're never gonna replace that, no matter what you do. And I think that's why stand-up comedy is it's thriving as an art form right now, because people crave that, because everybody stares at their phones for so long. And then when you have a chance to just put your phone down and just have a few drinks and listen to somebody talk shit on stage to make you laugh, you just let go and you enjoy it, and then you're this collective experience of everybody laughing together it's such a wonderful release and a wonderful thing. So that's why I think, and then when you do it, and then you're in all around, in the case of, like, I have to say, like in the case of Laugh After Dark Comedy Fest, I was surrounded by some of the best comedians in the world. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just real. And there were 3 Filipinos there with me. Actually, 5 Filipinos when you talk about the 2 mixed ones. I don't claim that they're not Filipino, but they, like, this one dude, like, part of his comedy was the fact that he does not look Filipino at all, but he's Filipino. And I was like, we had this conversation because he only looked, I can't even remember, Aaron, Aaron or Evan, I think his name was. But homie looked straight Caucasian, but he had, and then his brother he's like, my brother looks just like you, and I'm like, that's a trip. But it's just, when you mix it up, you never know what you're going to get. But there were two mixed. I saw a showcase where there were two mixed Filipinos, and then I saw another showcase where there were two Filipinos. Like shout out to Bobby and John and Joe, who I saw on the final showcase with Kalia hosting, or not Kalia, Carlos Anthony hosting, which was funny. All the shows were just, like I said, all the shows at the Laugh After Dark Comedy Fest, it was all killers. Wow. You know what I'm saying? It was like, and it felt good to be at the Killers convention. You know what I'm saying? Like hanging around with everybody, and I'm one of y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's how it
community. Yeah, I get it.
That's what, and that's what festivals can do for you. Like you can really feel a part of the community as far as stand-up comedy. Or in the case of like even a sketch festival, you can feel a part of the sketch community or whatever it is, because you're talking about people from all over the country, and in some cases, like shout out to Joe Mama, who Joe Mama? Yeah, I think it's Joe Mama, dude from France who I met in Hawaii, who is, international comic, and his comedy is brilliant. Zach Mama, my bad. Zach Mama. Shout out to Zach Mama. Look out for him on the internet, because at Zach Mama, he is funny as hell, and he's a French dude, and he's got a really good set. That it was just I saw his set twice during the festival, and each time I laughed, because even when I knew what was coming, it was still so funny. His delivery, everything. Just like I said, everyone on those lineups at the Laugh After Dark was just, they were killers, and it was just great to be a part of it.
Now, are these festivals like? Are we able to see them anywhere? Can we watch what you did at the Banana Festival or Banana Ketchup, and then
I think Banana Ketchup is going to be uploading the sets. I'm not sure where and what medium. I think they might be doing a YouTube thing. I know that Laugh After Dark you can go to laughafterdark.com. And I know they're going to be uploading all the Comedy Fest performances there, but also they'll also be doing like on Instagram and TikTok. So I'm guessing Banana Ketchup would do the same. I would think that they should, because I know there was people shooting, but I know in the case of Laugh After Dark, that's kind of what they do.
Yeah.
I like I'll put it into perspective what Laugh After Dark has done for me. The Ewok joke, the overall clip with the locker room in the back, right? That one, the one that has like 300,000 whatever views, right? That Ewok clip, that's a Laugh After Dark clip.
Oh, okay.
That's a clip from Laugh After Dark, the set from Comedy Fest 1. This is Comedy Fest 3. I've been part of Comedy Fest 1 and part of Comedy Fest 3. I don't want to submit every year, but at the same time, like now I'm due to submit for Big Pine next year, because I want to come back. And hopefully at this point now, and it's not a matter of winning Best of Fest, because I don't want to do that. And now I just want to be a part of another great comedy festival, like all the ones that I've been a part of, because every single comedy festival that I've been a part of is great. And each time I grow as a stand-up comic. I can even in my own head and my own experiences in looking at all my festival experience, I've grown as a stand-up comic and as a comedian and as a writer and as an artist overall with each festival experience. So anyone out there who's, doing stand-up comedy and has a 5-minute clip that you can submit that you think is good, start submitting, because, it's going to take a couple submissions, and it's going to cost money, because it costs like, sometimes $30-$40 a clip to submit to some of these festivals. Mm-hmm. So it can get expensive if you start submitting to a lot, but pick and choose which ones you want to be on, and then submit to them every year. And, maybe you'll get on.
How did you decide to submit to this one back in the day? How is this one stuck out to you as opposed to others that you might have been like, no, that's not for me?
I was kind of recruited by Hillary, who ran Big Pine, but also from Nyla Durrani. Shout out to her. She's been such an integral part of my career, where she's put me in so many different rooms and introduced me to so many different people. She got me on I Can See Your Voice. Nyla did. But she also introduced me to Hillary Hudson, who was at the time, she was running the Big Pine Comedy Festival and still does. And her Broken Drift Productions runs Big Pine Comedy Festival. I think right now it's in Chandler at Mic Drop Mania, which is also her comedy club. And then sometimes it's at Mic Drop in San Diego, which is also her comedy club. So she owns both those comedy clubs, plus she runs Big Pine Comedy Festival. And so she, Nyla told me to submit to her, send my tape to her for the festival, and it was virtual. And so I got in and, you know, got into some of the workshops, I got into some of the joke writing workshops, some of the suggestions that were given to me in that joke writing workshop with some of my first sets that I was doing in 2020. I'd still take those suggestions today when I'm writing jokes. Like that's how good the knowledge was that I learned, even in that virtual festival. And then when you did and participated in the virtual festival and you were selected the virtual festival, the next one that was in person, which again wasn't at Mic Drop in, I'm sorry, at the House of Comedy in Arizona. Mm-hmm. That was 2021, and that was when I, like I said, that festival set off everything. Like I leveled up in so many ways after that festival.
That's
like
awesome.
Theatrical agent, all of it, you know. And each festival, again, it's another level up. Like this one, I got to hang out with Carlos Rodriguez, who is a headlining touring comedian and has been for a long time, but he's brilliant, funny comedian. But he was breaking down how to make as much money as you can as a touring comedian. And he was breaking it down with numbers and how much you should get for X club and and it was amazing. And nobody ever tells you, it's like the secret until you can get into the club. But he told us, he told us how to make money. He told us, that he made $11,500 in merch sales last month in just T-shirts. And I was like, what?
Wow.
And, I came back inspired out of workshops like that. And so that's the type of festival I want to produce. I want to produce a festival where, maybe it's me doing the business breakdown for Phil-Am Comics, and or AAPI, HN. Where does the HN go? Because I know that's a new thing. So it's a AAHNPI. Is that how it goes?
It's AANHPI.
That is some disruptive shit. It's okay, but it's disruptive because I'm so used to AAPI. You know how it just comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
So now it's what? Say it again.
AANHPI. Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander.
It's a lot. We get to be like the LGBTQ people with all the letters. We'd be like the alphabet crew. That's what the right wingers call it, right? We're the alphabet crew, alphabet people. But it's okay, I guess. I'm not mad at it. It's gonna take some getting used to in my mouth is all.
Yeah. Well, they're using in different spaces also. Like it just depends, like what your ultimate goal, who your audience is. Like, I mean, if you're really not reaching out to, some specific groups, then be honest about it also, right? I mean, like, if we're not going to be inclusive of this group or that group, it's like, okay, well, but we want to be, and that's
exactly. So I'm not mad at our Hawaiian listeners and Hawaiian viewers. I love all of you. Aloha to all of you. I love you. I'm just it's gonna take a while for me to get used to that acronym. Is all I'm saying, because my mouth gets used to shit. So that's it. So what have you been up to, man? Because I know you've been up to some crazy shit too.
I have been up
Which will kind of get us more into what's the current events, because we got 20 days till this fucking election, bro. Oh my God.
I cannot wait. So I have been pulled into full-on campaign mode. I think last time we chatted, I think I was just starting off working for the California Democratic Party, specifically to help out with some assembly candidates that we have down south. Shout out to Christy Holsedge, who's down in like the Palm Springs area, and Darshana Patel, who's down in San Diego. And so I'm helping with her campaigns on some specific stuff, and just assign them. Don't have to go down there, but what I'm doing is specifically helping out with some of their materials, like to be able to mail out, to come up with some strategies on that type of stuff. And so I'm helping out with that. That's my full-time stuff now. That's what I got pulled into. And then locally, I think I've given her a shout out, but helping out definitely with hopefully would be the first Black woman mayor of Sacramento, and that's
Nice.
Dr. Flojan Kofer. We're actually hosting the Filipino community fundraiser for her tomorrow night, which I've just been spending whatever leftover time I have planning this event. We're going to have a great young Filipino rapper out there, Rudy Kalma. We're going to have some amazing hosts from the community. Shout out to Auntie Cynthia Bonta, who's a longtime activist and walked with the farm workers back in the day. She's going to be there, fully supports Flojan. So everybody should know that that's where her head is at. She is all community, and with Cynthia supporting her, that's the main thing. And then Philams for Harris, which is probably the biggest thing, because, man,
Change your name, bro.
I know that's so much that I've changed it to this.
You've become Philams for Harris.
Philams for Harris, because we have battleground states, and here in the West, which I've been tasked to help work on and coordinate, is Nevada. Nevada is number one. We definitely want to make sure that they, we win it explicitly, because we're still iffy, and that's not a good feeling to have when we know what the outcome could be if we lose it. And so but Nevada specifically, we've got weekly Wednesday phone banks. You guys check out Philams for Harris on our Instagram, and we have those posted permanently on there, so you can check out how to do the weekly phone banks on Wednesdays, specifically to Nevada. And then this coming weekend, I'm really excited about. I tried to recruit you to go to this, but I know it's going to be tough for folks that haven't already planned. But we're doing, and here it comes again, the AANHPI specific GOTV, for those of you who don't know, Get Out the Vote, canvassing on October 19th and October 20th in Las Vegas. And so this includes Koreans for Harris, Cambodians for Harris, of course, us, the Filipino Americans for Harris. But shout out to all these different groups that are coming together. We're going to canvass hard these 2 full days, and then just make sure that people that look like us, that are family, that are friends, that are just people that just need to be reminded, hey, what's at risk? We're here to tell you, and we're here to ask you to get to the ballots and vote, and make sure you're voting for the right person for you. And for us, that's Kamala and Tim. And so those have been my major focuses. But I do want to share, if it's okay, we can bring this up later again, but I wanted to segue, if you can tell all the different questions I had for you, to remind everybody, don't have to remind you, but I'm the student of comedy here, and you're my teacher. You're my Miyagi in this situation. So as I'm pulled into what my wife just calls campaign mode, because my brain doesn't shut off when it's election season. Like literally when they said, we want you to do this, and you probably remember this from 2020, like my mind is just all over the place, local, state, national, simultaneously working on whatever people ask me to help out with. I'm sitting there like, okay, looking at another mailer. I'm talking to this candidate. How are we planning this fundraiser? But I'm watching you on social media, and I'm like, man, I really thought I was going to be able to go to the Banana Ketchup Festival in San Francisco. I'm glad that you met up with Charmaine, my buddy's sister. I'm glad it was organic. But I wanted to be there to make that introduction, to watch you, meet you live. You were in San Francisco. I was like, this is an hour and a half. I go there like at least once a month. I'm in the Bay Area, but I'm sitting here doing all these political stuff. I'm like, just questioning myself again. Like, I thought I was away from this. I stepped in my Pacino mode from Godfather 3. I was like, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Right. And I'm like, what the hell? But I have to, eyes on the prize. What's more important than me in pursuing a comedy career, or even just trying to write again? It's making sure that the right person wins. And all my energy, all 110%, my family's understanding of this when I'm in campaign mode. It's not about me. It's not just about a small segment here. It's not about whatever. I can go back to writing. I will, now that I have you as a mentor, now that I have a real direction. But I had to take a break and be like, from the next 20 days, it's just all this. So I'm glad that we have these as a break to remind me, like, I got to get back on that track to do what I love, what I want to eventually produce, work with you on so many different things. But in this moment, in the next 20 days, I'm just like in full on Chris campaign mode. And I'm so used to winning that, like, no, like, you can't shut me off, because we need to win every single race that I've worked on, and so much more, because, you know, we just need it. Our kids need it. Our families need it. Everybody needs not just a win, but just a better future, a better country. And we're not going to get it with, you know who, because we've seen what that looks like, and that's just take us 10 steps back.
We forgot. You know, I forgot that, you know, speaking of local races and everything, remember, I got to host Nick Schultz's event with Miss Jane Fonda. Oh my God. How did we bury the lead like that, man? That was an
okay. You need to talk about that. You need to talk about that right now. What happened? How did you feel? And, you know, like, man, just talk about that. That was awesome.
That was just an incredible thing, because shout out to my agent Mark Scroggs from LB Talent, the guy who signed me at the festival, Big Pine Comedy Festival. He is really into what we're doing here, Miscellaneous and Brown. He's really into, me podcasting as his client. You know, he knows that, we have to create content, and we have to, hopefully create relevant content that people watch and that people can share and all the other stuff. But also, talk to relevant people. And like, he's put me in the room, and he's like, he introduced me to Constantine Anthony, and he introduced me to Nick Schultz. Well, no, Nick Schultz introduced himself to him because he came with my house. And then Nick Schultz he's basically become a friend. He's just a cool dude. And he happens to be mayor of Burbank, the town that I live in, which is just a really cool, happy coincidence. And he's into what I'm into, and it's really cool. And then he asked me to host this event, and he's like, yeah, and by the way, Jane Fonda is going to be there. I'm like, what? Oh. And then I get to meet Jane Fonda, and I'm like, it's an honor to meet you, Miss Fonda. And then I just, she shook my hand, and we took pictures, and she took my arm, and it was a really lovely event. And then she spoke, because she's really a big climate advocate, and she's really passionate about that. And it was really, wonderful to see this lady who's lived a very lavish and wonderful life still, care so much about the environment and care so much about the future. And, she knows she's 80, I think 87, if I'm not mistaken. So like, it was really cool, and just a pleasure to meet Miss Jane Fonda. And take a picture with it. I mean, just, what are you going to do? I don't even know what else to say. It was just really cool. And again, really cool happenstance that my agent believes in what we're doing here, but also put me in a position to where I'm hosting that event. And, the Klein brothers were there, and Julie Brown from MTV was there. And, it was a really fun event. And I think everybody had a good time who was there. And it was really good. It was a really fun, I can't even to put into words when you talk about middle ground, and then I'm hanging out with Jane Fonda, and and I'm at all these comedy festivals. Yet I'm still broke, but it's okay, though. No, actually, you know what? And shout out to my new job, because I'm not broke anymore. It's really kind of a nice. It's nice. I'm gonna buy my wife an Apple Watch for her birthday this Saturday, because I didn't want to buy one because I didn't know what color she wanted, and when I buy the wrong color, then we had to return all that. I just wanted to go and She can pick it out, whatever exact one she wants, and then she can buy it. So awesome. It feels nice to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna leave it at that. So no, if I was better, where is my life? Am I better off 4 years ago than I was when Donald Trump was president? Yes. Very much so. Very, very, very much so. And we still got a lot of time to talk. I do want to catch everybody up on everything that we didn't talk about since we've been gone. I mean, I think we last left at the VP debate, which was, I think it can be summed up in, I thought there wasn't going to be any fact checking. That's really the line that you have to worry about with that debate. I was told there wouldn't be any fact checking. I was also told that there would be a couch for me in my green room and that I could have it in private. I was told that, and there was no couch provided before the debate. That's why I'm on edge. And I was also told there would be no fact checking.
Sorry, just like how we feel as citizens. Sorry, Mr. JD Vance, but you've been lied to. So how does that feel? Yeah.
And then they just doubled down, and they went to the Springfield in Ohio and had a rally and doubled down on it. And now there's the bomb threats and the whole. I even talked about it at Middle Ground. I talked about it, how this bullshit ass racist trope about how whatever new group of immigrants is eating whatever pet or scary thing that you don't normally eat is making you demonize them or dehumanize them. I wish they would get some new shit at least. These racists, they don't even have any. And I mean, that's probably why they're racist, is because they don't really can't come up with some new shit, I guess.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. They came up with smart, intellectual, well-informed, like corrosive, just like in your face, man, that was right. They wouldn't be these type of people, right? And so
they would never be this type if they were able to formulate good arguments and have actual cognitive skill. Well, anyway, we can insult and tell them, call them stupid and all that, but at the end of the day, it's a big portion of the country, and it's a big portion of some swing states that are supporting this type of thing. I mean, he even said it, like, I worry now. We're on episode 28, I think. So we have 20 episodes prior of me talking shit about Donald Trump, plus all the comedy that I talk about Donald Trump shit, and also Middle Ground. I mean, Middle Ground. I'm a target in Phil and MAGA. I'm already. So, like I gotta say, it's a little scary when you think about it, when he talks about the enemies of the state. I mean, I guess I'm an enemy of the state. You and me are enemies of the state. Miscellaneous and Brown is a podcast for the enemies of the state when it comes to Donald Trump and his MAGA America, because he's talking very much like a fascist right now. And it's scary, but it's almost, I wish that they would go back to talking about how weird it is, because I liked it better when we were laughing at him and not getting really scared and almost, vilifying him to the point where he's almost bigger than he is, because he's just a senile old dude that talks about what he wants to talk about. Did you see that thing yesterday? What happened yesterday where he was swaying to the music for like 38 minutes and he made the whole crowd do it when it was supposed to be a town hall, and he asked like 4 questions, and then somebody fell out and had a fainting thing. And then, I mean, I've seen the clip so many times now today that I can quote it. He said, "Is anybody else going to faint?" Like, you are such an asshole. My God, doesn't always have to be about you. Oh my God, I hate him so much. But it really is to the point of where he's off his rocker, and he's also terribly afraid to debate Kamala again. Yeah. So I really don't think there's going to be another debate between them, which I think is a shame, because I feel like she could truly destroy him in a second debate, which I think Trump knows, because she destroyed him in that first debate.
Yeah, easily.
Simple and plain. Just in the same way that I destroyed most of those Trump supporters on that Middle Ground show. I mean, but you know what, to be honest, man, I have to say, and here's what I'm going to say about my experience at Middle Ground, just to kind of like circle it up and talk about um, none of the I can't and to be honest, I don't want to really say their names because I don't want to like specific, but all the people on the panel except for maybe two on the MAGA side, I could find some commonality with. I could find some middle ground with. I wasn't, it wasn't like somebody where I hated this person, and their reasoning for supporting Trump. While I disagreed with it, I don't, and I couldn't really justify it in my own head, but I could see how in their head they could justify it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I found some empathetic middle ground with them, but there were some people on the panel where I was like, yeah, you're just a Trump supporter, and you're really just. I don't have anything left to say to you except to insult you. I don't, and I'm not going to do that because we agreed to be, cordial on the show. So I'm not gonna try and shake your hand. I'm not gonna try to be fake. I'm just gonna be peace, cool. And kind of the same is true of the people in the comments. Because I have to say, this is the first time I've had something like this big besides I Can See Your Voice. And I Can See Your Voice, you don't really get those. You can't read the comments of I Can See Your Voice because it's on national television. And even in the case of like most of the national, well, I mean, I guess the director of Jason Palmer, who I do all the NFL comedy stuff with, he says that there's comments on like Twitter and stuff with it. And sometimes he reads it. Just for, I mean, even for just comedic inspiration, like the insults are funny. I mean, and even in the case of, for me, like the insults were, I read some of the comments and most of them were just, it was just MAGA mad at me for, yelling over the MAGA points, and debating the MAGA points and having actual facts behind what I said,
yeah.
and because those facts obviously go directly opposite to what they believe. It's just, if you've been programmed or you watch Fox News or what, OHN, or is it OHN or OAN or whatever it is, and then there's also Newsmax, right? And then there's also all these other right wing YouTubers that people are watching. I mean, I'm watching all the left wing YouTubers like Brian, what's his name? Dude who's always in a suit. You watch, and he's on MSNBC a little bit now. He got a slick haircut and a suit. Good looking, handsome kid. Anyway, but I watch him. I got his book. I support some of the YouTubers. I still watch Stephanie Miller's show, which I've been listening to since I watched her on the radio. There's a lot of good, and of course, shout out to Pod Save America and John Favreau and John Lovett and Tommy Vitor and all those guys. I mean, those guys are basically my news now. I basically watch them every day. But as they are, they upload every day. So I'm like, yo, we got 20 days left to this election, and we missed 2 weekly episodes where we've been gone for 2 weeks, and they were crucial weeks. I have to say, I'm sure we probably lost whatever audience we had from momentum, but that to me doesn't matter. I feel like we just need to keep putting out our conversations and keep putting out episodes of Miscellaneous and Brown. And also, like I said, so whenever you want to hit me up, if there's something you want to talk about that's on the news in these next 20 days, or if there's an event that you want to promote, that you want to talk about, even if it's just for like 10 minutes, or you want to talk, and we can upload a video where you're talking about it and promoting it, let's do it. Because the more stuff we post today, it's going to bring more traffic to Finlands for Harris. It's going to bring more traffic to hopefully the Kamala Harris and Tim Walz campaign, and more people are going to be supportive of it and just get out and vote. Because really, this is going to be a turnout election. This is what's going to, it really is everybody who can vote, who has never voted before, or because when the sad part about it is that it's only 60, not even 60% of people, 55% of people vote, participate in the population. So what would happen if even another 10% make it 65, 20%, 75? Could you imagine that? if all those people participated, and who knows what would happen. But at the same time, I think that's more of a democracy, because I think it's more, I don't know. I feel like there'd be, if more people participated, I don't think that Donald Trump would even be the candidate for the Republican Party. I think that's, that's the unfortunate truth of minority rule when it comes to the Electoral College. And also I mean, there's so many things that you could reform, but one step at a time. We just got to get Kamala and Tim elected, and we have to elect Democrats down ballot, all across.
Down ballot. Yep.
I mean, like, we already know who to vote for at the top of the ticket. So now it's, who do you got to research, because some of you already have your mail-in ballots. So who are you voting for down ballot? I remember there used to be an option where you could just hit the top of the ticket and then hit Democratic, and then it would just automatically vote for all the Democrats and then all the Republicans. But there's so many different Jill Steins, and unfortunately, man, Cornel West, man, I read a lot of his books.
Yeah.
And I believe a lot of what he talks about. And it's a shame that he is, I lost a lot of respect for him running for president, and he's not going to be on the ballot in Philadelphia, thank goodness. So at least that percentage of whoever, I don't know, but I like I said, I've read all his books. I read like 3 of his books, Dr. Cornel West, and like I said, I'm sure he's coming from a good place, but at the same time, read the room, homie.
Yeah, this wasn't for you. Yeah,
time, and I don't want to think of, especially from someone who can come up with a lot of the brilliant words of the books that I've read of his. I would think that he wouldn't want to end up being like, like a Jill Stein-esque type figure, because I mean, at this point, Jill Stein you're just throwing away your vote if you're voting for her, because she doesn't know how many members of Congress there are. Shout out to Charlemagne and Angela from Native Land podcast. She was on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne, and she was on with Jill Stein, and she asked her how many members of Congress are there, and she couldn't answer. And she's running for president. Of course, if somebody asked Trump that, he probably couldn't answer either. I'm sure.
Easy, but guaranteed. No, guaranteed that you just wouldn't know.
Because there's 435 House members, correct? And then there's 100 Senate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 535 total. See how I did that right off the dome?
Wow. This is why you're our voice. This is why you're our voice on Middle Ground and new places.
Oh, Lord. No, but, it was fun. It was a fun thing to do, but it was also, it was eye-opening, because shout out to Kelsey again at Laugh After Dark, her Comedy Fest, and her branding workshop where she talked about it. The people in the comments that are against you and that hate on you and that hate on whatever you're doing, they're never going to be your fans. But now you know where they're at. They've shown themselves.
Yeah.
They're never going to. And also, I was looking at a Club Shay Shay with Dion Cole, and he was talking about the comments, because apparently, like, he lost work because he was wearing bell bottoms, like he was wearing this outfit, and it was this fire outfit with bell bottoms. I was like, I looked at the picture, I was like, yo, I want to wear that shit. But everybody in the Black community thought he was gay, so he lost a whole bunch of work. And I'm like, why did he lose a whole bunch of work? And he was like talking about how stupid it was, and how the people in the comments, you're talking about, he's like, I don't know these people. I don't know these people, and these people don't know me. But they took time out of their day to type comments, sometimes paragraphs of comments about how much they hate this or hate that or hate this. And I'm thinking to myself, how miserable is your life that you have to take time out of your day, out of something that you watched, to hate on somebody in the media that you watched? Like, how shitty is your life that you have to shit on somebody else's experience,
Yeah.
whether you agree with it or not. I mean, and hey, you want to debate? Let's debate. You know, I can. You saw the show. So, you know, if you want to, come on, let's go. But don't, it's just, it's very interesting to me how, what our society has become. And as far as like the comment section and, you know, maybe it's always been that way, but I don't think that, you know, the comment section from Manny Pacquiao is very different from the comment section of Middle Ground. We'll say it like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I know that Trump has contributed a lot to doing that, to our society, and I feel like it has to end in the next 20 days. And I feel like, I always hope and pray for this, but it's got to be a blowout, man. She's got to win North Carolina, like, early. Like, we got to know she won North Carolina early. And if she wins North Carolina and Pennsylvania on election day, and we know, then it's going to be a blowout. And I'm hoping, that's what I'm hoping for. And also, let's hope that marijuana and abortion vote in Florida changes the color, or at least makes it a little purple.
Yeah.
Because that could happen. And there's also, what's his name? Colin Aldred in Texas.
Oh yeah. He needs to win.
Fighting a good fight against the asshole of all assholes, Ted Cruz. I mean, if we could oust Ted Cruz from the Senate, that would be a wonderful, wonderful victory. And again, though, we can't sleep on all these abortion initiatives, these abortion, I can't think of the word, but these ballot initiative for abortion, rights, as well as, hey, you know what I'm gonna say, cannabis legalization and cannabis rights and recreational cannabis it's all on the ballot this year, guys. And Kamala just said yesterday, I'm not gonna, you know what? I'm sorry to let me put some respect. Vice President Harris said yesterday that she would like to legalize once and for all cannabis. She put it out there, and I think she might be the first presidential candidate whilst running for election to say that. And you had me at legalize.
Yeah.
So there's a lot riding on this election, even for me, just personally. Not to mention, I'm a stand-up comic who relies on the First Amendment and not having a dictator where I can't talk shit about the president if I want to. And if Kamala's not doing a good job, I'll talk shit. We'll talk shit if she's not doing a good job, because that's our job. That's what a democracy is. If your elected officials aren't doing what you want them to, you complain and you talk about it. And maybe you start a podcast like this, or you write a letter, or you send an email, or you call Congress, or whatever you do. But that's what a democracy is, and that hopefully that's what we're hoping we inspire, is to get people involved, because people got to vote, man. If there's one election in your life that you vote for, you didn't do it when, if you weren't inspired enough to vote when Barack Obama ran, or, I mean, this one's a meaningful one.
Yeah.
If you ever dreamed of being in the Star Wars, or like Rebellion, or like Harry Potter, or like Voldemort against like some bad evil nemesis, or even if you idolize like war heroes like in Saving Private Ryan, or like the World War II, remember that World War II was fighting against fascists. And that's what we're fighting against right now, is a fascist. General George Milley said Donald Trump is a fascist. He is a fascist, and he said it he was quoted in the new book that also talked about how Trump shared COVID vaccine tests with Putin Before Americans had enough vaccine tests, he was sharing vaccine tests with Putin. This guy is a traitor to this country. He is not and should never even sniff the carpet in the Oval Office ever again. Never again. And JD Vance should never get near that couch. Ever. Because we know what he will do when he gets alone in the couch in the Oval Office. It will be besmirched.
Violated. Yeah.
Ugh. Allegedly. We don't spread lies here.
No.
And we always fact check ourselves. So, you know, just in case.
But I could say that I believe.
Allegedly, JD Vance is a couch fucker. And I think we can wrap it up with that. Don't you think? That's a good way to wrap up this episode.
It's the only way to end a conversation. So from now on, that's how we end all the conversations. People say bye, and we say JD Vance loves couches later.
See how he PG'd it? He PG'd it for me. You see how he did that? It's good. You saw that in live timing. Guys, this is Miscellaneous and Brown, and we will be back. I know that there was a few episodes ago where I promised that I wouldn't lag, but I also didn't realize that I was going to be doing shows in San Francisco and Las Vegas and Los Angeles, you know, the final leg of it, where we're going to be doing every second Thursday at the Broadwater in LA. So if you want to see karaoke and comedy, stand-up comedians, and then they do their set and then they sing karaoke, it's every second Thursday now in LA. I'm coming back. I'm going to be producing again and again and again, because that workshop with Carlos Rodriguez, the first thing he talked about was produce. And if there's one thing I know how to do, it's produce stand-up comedy shows. And so I will be in your neck of the woods soon, because I was talking to Laughs Unlimited, but also Hillary also, I think, is part owner of Laughs Unlimited too. So
perfect.
We'll be working on some stuff, and hopefully, I want to produce shows, but I'll be producing shows that I'm on, and we're gonna work it out. But stay tuned here for all of it. But also, Chris, tell them all the stuff that's going on with you, because you know there's so much going on with Phillips for Harris and all the candidates that you're working for. So tell them where they can find all of that and where they can find you, and then we will see you sooner than later. We're not going to, maybe not weekly. We might be, you know, who knows? We may see you later on in the week. Who knows what we're going to do, because there's only 20 days left of the election. So, Chris, tell them where they can find you and tell them where they can help out.
Yeah. You want to help out. You want to make sure that we have the Filipino vote locked in Nevada. That's at least on my side of the coast, the West Coast. Check out Phillips for Harris. We've got them all over the place. We have all the battleground states covered for phone banks, but specifically for me, I'm urging you to join the Nevada phone banks for us every Wednesday, 6 to 8. If you need training, if you're not sure, you know, hit us up. Let us know that, like, this is my first time, but I want to make a difference. You're going to make a difference by even just starting to call folks. And then if you can, the bigger ask is on this coming weekend, the 19th and 20th, we'll be walking in Las Vegas. And I know there are a lot of other canvassing tours and buses taking folks to battleground states. So keep a lookout for that. Whatever's local for you, whatever's easiest, make that happen. But the two things that I can guarantee is, like, we'll have the Wednesday phone banks into Nevada. We got to reach out to Filipino American voters, AANHPI voters, and that's through phones, walking, knocking, talking, whatever we got to do. But you got to get out there, like Michelle Obama said.
Do something.
So,
do something.
Yeah. So hit us up, help out, do your part, make this happen. Otherwise, not going to look good for anybody.
Otherwise, we're all moving to Canada.
We are.
I mean, I don't know. I'm scared because, I mean, he wants those immigration camps and all the other stuff that he's talking about. You know, who knows how? I mean, you know, he's a shit talker. So, you know, he half that stuff is not going to be accomplished. I think he laid like three miles of wall that Mexico was going to build. So, I mean, this is not somebody who necessarily does what he says. But at the same time, I'm scared that he's around, and the people around him know how to do what he says. And it's scary because some of these billionaires that surround him, including weird jumpy bean Elon Musk. We gotta watch it. And the unfortunate thing is, these are going to be the villains going forward. I think, because they're going to find another Trump, or maybe it's JD Vance they're going to perch up. But God forbid, oh Lord. No. Anyway, all right, Chris. We'll see you soon. And hopefully, if you've been here with us this long, please follow us on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, or if you're listening to us on Spotify, follow us there, or wherever you're listening. But please leave a review, leave a rating. It helps so much with the algorithm. So please, and if you're watching this on YouTube and you're here this long, please leave a nice comment. Don't leave a mean comment. Please leave a nice comment. But also share this with your friends and share this with your Philam cohorts if you think they are so inclined to support Philams for Harris and us here at Miscellaneous and Brown. I'm Eric Esteban, and that is
Chris Mateo.
Yeah, I always want you to say your name, and I can't remember where to point, but it's this way. I'm going to point this way, and then there you are. But that's Chris Mateo. I'm Eric Esteban, and this is Miscellaneous and Brown, and we will see you very soon. 20 days left to go. If you can vote, if you haven't registered to vote and you still can register, you better register to vote. And if you have registered to vote, you probably got your vote thing in the mail. So go ahead and fill that shit out. Kamala Harris and down ballot Democrats. LFG, y'all. LFG.
LFG.
I don't think you want any problems, but you got one. Here we go. See the size is colossal. Look at the way she make the thing go. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Ayy. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Ayy. It's summertime, starting up a heat wave, and now all weekend, hardly slept in 3 days. Whoever's driving the car is the DJ. When it's Q, y'all better pump that bass. The dominance is obvious, I guillotine, heads roll everywhere I go, I rep Philippines. Found my way, turn amaze to amazing. Infinite flows discovered in an ancient spaceship. I see things before they happen, visionary. Bury me inside a studio at the cemetery. My modus operandi not monetary. Noah Lazarus, the holy one out the monastery. So let me see your cute, plus the wide, that's the crew. I'm a giant, how I grew, still connected to my roots. Rhymes, I kick it like Bruce, got me feeling like Zeus. Standing tall like Manute, to reach this level need a boost. I don't think you want any problems, but you got one. Here we go. You can see the size is colossal. Look at the way she make the thing go. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Ayy. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Ayy. Smoother than Brazilian wax, that's interact. My life a cinematic reflection in the mirror max. With the pros, I'm proliferating. She said my syntax sounds so scintillating. Flavormatics on the beat, savory. Being scared, still doing it, that's bravery. Hunger turn us into savages. Ain't nobody give us nothing, had to do it alone, without a loan. Like Nora from Queens, Aquafina had the shell toe. Adidas used to hang with the drug dealers. Been doing this since cassette tapes with my Walkman, writing rhymes on the subway. Traditions I carry on, hip-hop scholar, mastered in the street science. Raw diamonds, I refine them with the stars and alignment. Got the youth to the truth. On the tree of knowledge, squeeze forbidden fruit and made it juice. I don't think you want any problems, but you got one. Here we go. You can see the size is colossal. Look at the way she make the thing go. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Ayy. Make it gyrate, make it shake like tectonic plates. That's what you call an earthquake. Ayy. I just wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night with you. I just wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night, wanna dance all night with you.